It seems that British Prime Minister David Cameron might be backing off from a parliamentary vote on extending British airstrikes in Syria. For more on this, we head now to London to speak with Lindsay German, chairwoman of the Stop the War Coalition. Hi Lindsay, thanks for taking the time to chat with us. Why has David Cameron changed his mind on extending the airstrikes?
I think there are a number of reasons. That firstly, there was a very important report which came out in Parliament today, including from some of his own MPs, which was extremely critical of any attempt to bomb Syria. Secondly, there has been the bombing carried out by the United States in Syria for over a year now, and it hasn't succeeded. Thirdly, the Russians are now more involved in themselves directly bombing ISIS and other parts of Syria. So I think all these things have made it much more difficult for Cameron. He wanted to be able to get support across Parliament, including from some in the Labour Party, because he wanted to embarrass the new leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, who is anti-war. But he hasn't been able to do that. So I think this is a big retreat for him. And it's also to do with the fact that the anti-war movement has continued to lobby and protest over an attempt to bring this back to Parliament. And we're very, very pleased that it looks like we've been successful.
We know that the UK is the US's greatest ally. And what do you think this can mean for the US-led coalition's role in Syria and for the peace process there?
Well, the situation in Syria is a total mess, that you've got a multi-sided civil war. The United States hasn't been able to impose its will on Syria, or indeed on Iraq or anywhere else in the region. I think you have to look at what is going on in the Middle East as a failure of American policy over the last decade and a half. And of course, as you say, Britain is the United States' most closest ally. So this is a setback, as was the decision by the new Canadian government to also say that they're not going to continue bombing in Syria. So I think people are seeing that there has to be a political solution, and that there have been talks in the last week in Vienna, and there has to be some diplomatic and political solution if we are going to end the war and stop the terrible tragedy of the Syrian refugees and of the people who are suffering there.
Diplomatic. Well, Lindsay, you're the chairwoman of the Stop the War Coalition. What is your coalition's position on what should be done to stop the war, to end this war finally in Syria?
Well, we think that firstly, we shouldn't be creating the situation where terrorism grows and where war grows. And we've now had Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and now Syria, where there has been Western intervention. In every case, it has made things worse. In every case, it has shown a growth in terrorism. So we say there should be a political solution in the Middle East. That may not be easy to achieve, but it's the only path that will really improve the lives of ordinary people in the Middle East. It's the only path which can lead to genuine equality and democracy in the region. And it's one that the British and indeed the US and the French and the other governments involved there have not put any priority into achieving. And that's what we should be doing now.
Lindsay, it's been great chatting with you. And of course, we congratulate and applaud your work on the topic. Hopefully we can touch base with you another time. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.